Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Your Stocks coming live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. Markets, we've seen that recovery coming in, now managing to hold on to 25,000 as of now as well. So no complaining in terms of the recovery that we've seen so far. 24,000, 20, around that mark is what the Nifty is trading at. 0.3% of decline is what the market is still holding on to right now, whether you look at the benchmark indices. Outperformance, we've spoken about this before as well, coming in from the broader end of the market. So Nifty mid-cap and small-cap doing quite well in today's trading session, holding on to strong gains of more than a 0.4 in today's trading session. Opened up in the red, but look at that recovery in the chart that's coming in, right? It's just like a steep uptick that started coming in, and that recovery has continued through the day for the broader end of the markets. Nifty Media among the top sectoral gainers, obviously led by Z Entertainment. They had their presentation that was released yesterday, so that's why Z is among the top stocks movers in today's trading session. But this is a show where we solve all your stock related queries, and that is what we're going to be doing. To do that, we have Somil, Mehta, head of alternate research capital market strategy at Mirae, Sharekhan joining in with us, as well as Gaurang, Shah, senior vice president at Geojit Financial Services, to answer all your stock related queries. Somil as well as Gaurang, thank you so much for joining in with us on the show. Let's just get started with the queries. We have a lot happening in the markets, 25,000 right now, so not complaining on that front. First query for today is coming in from Preeti Sharma, who's writing to us from Delhi. She's holding 800 shares of Varun Beverages. This is at a price of 617 rupees per share. She's making a loss on this one and wants to know whether to hold or look to sell, and she wants both the perspective long-term as well as short-term. Gaurang, your view coming in for Varun Beverages, what are we watching out for here, short-term as well as long-term? Where do you see a better bet coming in here right now?
Thank you so much, Vinny, for having me on the show. Good afternoon to all of you all and all the viewers of CNBC TV18. Recommendations are a part of our research team. Our company, Geojit, or I do not have any investment or financial interest in any of the stock recommendations, and no conflict of interest. However, we recommend similar investment ideas to our clients. They might have their investment position. Varun Beverages, first of all, Vinny, as far as my knowledge goes, I don't think there is any other listed entity with whom we can do a peer comparison, given the kind of business model that Varun Beverages have. Point number one. Point number two, I think the offtake of cold serve carbonated beverages and other beverages is going to grow at a very decent pace. Our research team has a hold recommendation on the stock. Second advice that I would give this investor is that since you got invested at higher levels and you're getting the stock for further investment in case if you have investable amount at a very decent price correction, add a small quantity or maybe half the quantity at current levels. That will bring down your acquisition price, and from a long-term point of view, chances of profitable exit looks much, much brighter. But hold and average is the recommendation.
Okay, hold and average is the recommendation coming in on the fundamental front. On the technical, Somil, what's the story playing out right? Because last 1 year, we've just seen that decline coming in, not any up move actually, 26% decline. So what would you say for short term as well as long term? What is the target?
Yeah, and at the moment, it has been forming lower tops, lower bottom of the daily charts, struggling to go above the averages, short-term averages, long-term averages, both 20-40 daily moving average and 200 daily moving average. So that's a very weak sign for the stock. I would say in the very short term, the trend is negative, trend is downside, and I'll be expecting this trend to continue. And 430, 420 would be the targets in the very short term. However, once it starts going above the averages, closes about 200 daily moving average, which is way above, 540 would be the levels I'll be looking out for. If it closes above 540, then the medium to long-term outlook will be positive. But at this point of time, short-term is definitely negative.
Okay, short-term is negative. So that's the view as of now coming in on the short-term front, but keep an eye out on the long-term story. Next query for today is coming from Deepak Dave, who's writing to us from Gujarat, holding 140 shares of Birla Corp. This is at a price of 1,300 rupees per share. He's a long-term investor and wants to know whether to hold or to sell. Gaurang, there was a lot that was happening on this front as well, especially coming in this space where West Bengal legislature had also revoked some incentive schemes that came in, which spoken to the management that the commentary seemed decent because they kept expecting the growth of around 8% in terms of volume in FY26 going forward. What is your outlook for the stock and what should the viewer now do?
So on the outlook on the stock, we have an accumulate stance. That means if you have it, you can hold on to it. If you have investable amount on corrections, you can add on to it. Really, the entire cement sector is not really much spoken about in terms of investment ideas and theme. Now, Birla Corp happens to be a small to medium cap cement manufacturing company, has got decent presence in some of the geographies as well as market share is concerned. Consumption of cement, Vinny, is going to go up given the elaborated plans from the center and at state level also. If you see, there are a lot of infrastructure projects that are going on in different states and pan-India also. Real estate sector, which is the second largest consumer of cement, is also doing very well. You can very well recollect 11,000 crore project of DLF getting sold out in 1 week. So real estate sector consumption, private capex is likely to pick up, and along with that, Vinny, infrastructure creation in semi-urban and rural India. So cement as a sector looks extremely good, and we have accumulate stance on Birla Corp. Hold on, and if you get dips further to maybe about 1200 or 1225, you can accumulate as well.
Okay, surely. That's a view coming in on the fundamental front. Cement as a sector is attractive, and as of now, they do have a Birla Corp as a accumulate for your Gaurang. Okay, thanks for that view. Somil, your view on the technical front. What are we watching out for here in terms of chart? Last 1 month, muted performance, a bit of a decline of around 9-10%. What should we watch out for now?
I think these levels are very attractive. The rise which we have seen in the last 3 to 4 months from the levels of 900, it has been retracing now that rally, and I'll be expecting now to take support around 1230, 1220 levels, and that will be a very good level to buy this stock. In the medium term outlook, positive, absolutely positive. In the short term, maybe a little sideways, maybe a little bit of more correction, but that will be a time to buy. And on the upside, I'll be expecting our targets of around 1450 and 1550 in the medium term outlook.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for Birla Corp. Let's move on to the next query for today. This is coming from Deepak Kishan, who's writing to us from BR, and he's holding 20 shares of LIC Housing Finance. This is at a price of 653 rupees per share, making some bit of a loss here right now. But he's a long-term investor and wants the long-term view on the stock. Should they continue to hold or look to exit this one? LIC Housing Finance, Gaurang, your view coming in. Obviously, last week we had seen some of those changes coming in, but that was mainly because of those project-related financing from the RBI side, right? So does that have any impact here? What are we watching out for in terms of LIC Housing?
So, one of the beneficiaries of interest rate cuts that we saw of 50 basis point and, of course, CRR cut in a phased-out manner, all this augurs extremely well for housing finance companies. Point number one. Point number two, real estate sector has its positive impact on the housing finance companies also, given the kind of run rate in terms of project launches and the projects getting sold out in maybe about a week, 10 days or so. In this case, 20 shares is the quantity acquired at 650 plus. Currently, the stock is trading at 590, I beg your pardon. Our team has an accumulate stance. I would again repeat what I said earlier. Hold on to it at current level, since you're getting at a 5% plus downside. If you have investable amount, maybe you can add another 10 or 20 shares from a long-term point of view.
Okay, that's a view on the fundamentals. On the technicals, your view, LIC Housing, Somil.
LIC, I am extremely positive on this stock in the medium-term outlook. For a positional trade, this looks amazing because it has formed an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and it has already formed the right shoulder. It has been consolidating around 200 daily exponential moving average, and the breakout levels would be around 630. On the upside, I think the targets would be 730, 740 levels. Stop loss would be around 560. this stock on the higher time frame, the momentum indicator has already given a buy signal from the lower ends. Making higher tops, higher bottom. Great setup, very positive on the stock.
Okay, great setup. Positive on the stock coming in here on the technical front. Next query for today. Venkat Chalam is writing to us from Pune. He's holding 100 shares of Narayana Hrudayala Health at a price of 966 rupees. So they are making good amount of profit here. Wants to know the future prospect of the stock. Gaurang, your view coming in for Narayana Hrudayala, given that the stock has seen some bit of attraction in the recent time. Today also it's one of those stocks that's buzzing into it as well. How is the story actually playing out on the fundamental front?
Well, actually, Vinny, if you go to see, this has been a stellar performer in the healthcare universe, that is hospitals. Last 1 year, 1.5 year, purely on the basis of earning visibility and, of course, the capex that is likely to come through in the future. Our team has a hold recommendation on Narayana Hrudayala. Yes, you are making fantastic returns in terms of what levels you got invested at. If you are not in a hurry to book out, or if you want to, book out a part, you can possibly act according to your wisdom. But I would say hold from a long-term point of view. And the best part about the investment is the investment level and where the stock is trading.
Okay, interesting there coming in on the fundamental front. A good story playing out for Narayana Hrudayala. Your views on Mirae on the technicals also. Is it thumbs up here as well?
Absolutely. Great stock. It has been forming higher tops, higher bottom, just broken out of a small bullish flag pattern. Every time it comes down to 40 or 20 daily moving average, it starts making higher tops, higher bottom. So that is a very good sign for the stock. Momentum indicators on the higher time frame are on the buy side. I think the next level in the very short term would be 2050, 2100 levels. So I'll be very, very positive in the short term as well as in the medium term outlook.
Okay, that's a view coming in there on Narayana Hrudayala. Thumbs up on the fundamental and technical front. But on that note, we're going to step into a very short break. Here's some good news coming in for our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away. Introducing CNBC TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC TV18 app now from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, or you can just scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back to Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. This is the show where we solve all your stock-related queries, and we're doing just that. We still have with us Gaurang, Shah as well as Somil, Mehta. The next query for today, gentlemen, we have is coming in from TV George, who's writing to us from Chennai. He's holding 310 shares of Welspun Corp. This is at a price of 223 rupees per share. Wants to know if it's the right time to exit the stock or should he continue to hold this. Obviously, he seems to have been holding it for a while. The stock is making a good amount of profit. Gaurang, does it make sense now to actually just book out some bit of a profit here, or do you think in the near term or the longer term they'll make more profits on this one?
Well, you're making more than double, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have specific coverage on Welspun Corp, but since the investor has asked about switching the investment onto something else, then if he wants to book out, my sense is that private sector banks would offer extremely well. We have been positive on the entire BFSI segment for a pretty long period of time. If I have to choose one large bank, private sector, then I think ICICI would offer extremely well.
Okay, that's a view coming in there. If you're looking to switch, ICICI Bank is the word coming in from Gaurang. Somil, your view coming in the charts and technicals. Would you say it's time to just book out profits, look at something else now? You've made enough money here.
I think in the very short term, definitely if you've traded for, if you've been on the stock for a little while, probably it's a good time to, book some profits. In the very short term, it is looking negative. So I'll be looking for a target of around 865 on the downside, maybe 820 levels on the downside. So it would probably make sense to book out some profits and maybe get into some other sector. Real estate sector is looking great. Godrej Property, Oberoi, Prestige, all of these stocks are looking great. So probably that if you want to switch, real estate sector looks good.
Okay, real estate looks good on the chart and technical front, and on the fundamental side, Gaurang gave a view coming in even for ICICI Bank. So yes, keep an eye out on the private banks or real estate. So time to just book out some bit of a profit here. Next query for today, Ravi is writing to us from Bangalore, who's holding 50 shares of Protein eGov, and this is at a price of 1,420 rupees per share. Wants to know if the stock is worth holding or should he exit at the current levels. Gaurang, what's your view coming in for this one? Because yes, PAN 2.0 was an issue, but after that they had won some other order as well, smaller one, but there was another one not related to PAN. So what should they be doing with this one?
So, this is a classic case wherein, name of a particular company starts moving up because of certain government orders coming in, and then there is a very long period of dryness or slackness in terms of inability of getting orders. Now, again, no specific comments, but since the investor has asked about an alternative investment idea, our sense is that possibly something in the EMS segment would augur extremely well. It won't do much damage in terms of already the loss that this investor is incurring. PG Electroplast is the recommendation from a long-term point of view. I think a switch would make a good investment decision.
Okay, switch would be a good investment decision. Technically also, would you say switch, or technically there is still some chance that they would make some money here?
I don't think so, Vinny. The short term looks negative. The medium term outlook looks negative. The stock has been struggling to go above the short term averages, the long term averages, making low tops, low bottom. The daily charts, weekly charts does not look good to me. So I think it would be great to switch to some other stock. Maybe, as I said, real estate stocks looks good right now.
Okay, switch to other stocks coming in as a view from both the fundamental analysts as well as technical analysts. Next query for today is coming in from Sriram, who's writing to us from Coimbatore. He's holding 85 shares of Dixon Technologies. Price is 6,320 rupees per share. So they're making good amount of money on this one. Wants to know if he can add more shares, and also wants to know the long-term view on this one. Dixon Technologies, Gaurang, what's the view, right? Because it had reached those high levels, then split, and again now it's gone to those heights. And the view wants to add more. Doesn't make sense now.
So very, this, if you look at 3-year performance or even 2-year performance, this has been a stellar performer, undoubtedly, and thanks to the sector that this company is into, and along with that, a tailwind positive from the government in terms of PLI scheme. Again, this is one company, according to my understanding, there is no listed entity in terms of peer comparison. And one thing you have to remember, look, if you look at 2-year performance, this stock has done extremely well. If you look at near-term performance, then from 18,000, 19,000, the stock went down to maybe 12 or 13,000, and now currently trading at 14,500 plus kind of levels. I can only speak about the sector and the balance sheet. I won't be able to give any specific comments since we don't have coverage on Dixon Tech. But the future of this particular sector looks extremely strong. And this company is one of the leading performers within its sector.
Okay, that's a view coming in there. And on the technicals, Dixon Tech, what's the view, Somil? What should the viewer do? Continue to, they actually want to add. Is it a good level to add more, given that they're already making profit? Or should they, just book out profits? Look at any of the other EMS names.
I think it has just broken off an ending diagonal pattern on the daily charts. Today is, I think, is a good move. Momentum indicator is just giving a fresh buy signal. I think you can add in the short term, in the medium term for a positional view as well. My targets on the upside would be at least 17,000. And if it closes above 17,100, I think the next level would be crossing the previous swing highs or the all-time highs.
Okay, that's a view coming in there for Dixon Technologies. Keep an eye on levels over there. But, with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Your Stock. So thank you so much, Somil, as well as Gaurang, for joining in with us as always and helping our viewers solve all their stock-related queries. And viewers, thank you so much for tuning in as always. Remember, you can always send us your queries and email us your queries on the email ID that will be flashing on the screens for you all. But don't go anywhere. Up next, you have Closing Bell to take you through the last hour of trade. So do stay tuned in for that.